So now we are going to talk about spondylolisthesis. Spondylolisthesis. What is this? Again, a condition where one particular vertebra in our spine, one vertebra slips out, moves out of the line. So here comes, how can I show you this? I'll show you that with the model later on. See, this is the backbone, this is the spine, and each vertebra has a connection like this, 26 vertebra like that, connections. So due to some reason, if the connection is broken due to an injury, right, due to an injury, let's say that this connection is broken, so what happens, this particular vertebra will slip out. So all vertebrae are present in a line, in a proper manner, but this vertebra, due to the broken bone, slips out, moves out, bulge out. This moving out can cause what? Distortion in the spine. Because generally what I found in most of the patients, the issue is with the spine. It can happen anywhere in the spine, but particularly how I found out is that in the near L5 and sacrum, the joint between L5 and sacrum, that area mostly affected. And as a result, that is the bottom part, and then the coccyx will be there, and further will be connected later on with the pelvis. So in that area, the whole body pressure, if the person is overweight, the whole pressure goes there, and it causes tremendous pain because it can pinch the nerve. Okay. So as I said, that in spondylolisthesis, there will be the movement or protrusion of vertebra, particularly L4 or L5. So let's consider this, although I don't have the whole model with me right now, but I can explain it with the help of this model pretty clearly. You can see between these two vertebra, this one vertebra can move out. So from this angle, you can see this clearly. You can see that as per the structure, the vertebral structure, this vertebra is little bit protruded than this. This is normal. But what happened is that somehow the bottom one skids. You can see this is the normal way. You can see in the dark background of the contrast, you can see both these vertebrae in a straight line. But now you will see that the vertebra on the bottom, it's now sliding out, protruding out. This protruding out, you can see this upper one is small and the lower one is protruding out, and as a result of which it not only just moves out. You can see this yellow colored structure here. This is the spinal cord, and these are the nerve roots. The yellow branches are nerve roots that are coming out of it. So what happens exactly is that the L4 or L5 vertebra protrude out like this, as well as in the sacrum. So as a result of which, what happens is that there is immense pain, and this is known as spondylolisthesis. Okay, because it creates pressure again in not only in the nerve roots, but also creates pressure in this spinal cord, and as a result of which this thing happens. If I show you from this end, you can see this is normal, this is what happens. Okay, that is present there. So we can call it as an arthritis of the spine. It can be caused due to the wear and tear. It can also be congenital, that means from the birth. But many a times it's related to stress fracture. Not like, you just, somebody may have a stress fracture by any kind, any means, that may lead to this spondylolisthesis. The symptoms are less, because if this is not due to stress fracture, then the symptoms may not be there. Very mild symptoms will be there. Very mild back pain starts with that. It can cause numbness as well as weakness in the legs. That's one thing that can help us diagnose, because this is a problem again in the lower side. In the lower side means it can be many things. It can be many things if this is the lower side. Ankylosing spondylitis that we talked about, right? That is also in the lower part. That's the joint between the spine and the pelvis. But this one particularly, the issue with the slipping or moving of one particular vertebra. It may be one vertebra, it may be more than one. If there is a accident or any kind, maybe multiple. If it's one, then what we can do, we cannot just properly fix it. Bone has a process to heal itself, produce itself. What we can do is that a natural process to heal. What we do with class 4 laser therapy is that it causes biostimulation. It causes the cells to divide. So normal cell division rate is low, but once we add this the cell division rate increases, inflammation decreases, and the debris, the tissue debris that form there, they are all cleared out, and new tissue start forming, new bones start forming, and the proper alignment can be done. But yes, in this kind of conditions, when there is any kind of stress fracture related event, only laser therapy or physical therapy will not be enough. We need to give some support, belts or other specific supports we need to provide. So the person always should wear that support, right? Because normal sittings will be continued, but the support is needed. And again, diagnosis can be done with the bone scan, CT scan, MRI, okay, myelography, all these things are there, but normally MRI, X-ray. X-ray can also detect this. So no problem, no issue with the MRI CT, but X-ray can detect this quite easily. And again, the treatment, as I mentioned, we go for the biostimulation because it can heal the tissue. It can heal the tissue, it can allow the bone to again go back to the normal condition. But we need to properly place it because the bone, the vertebra already moved out. So we need to put it back. And we need to manually do that. Manual adjustment may be required, but not at the acute phase because the patient will be in huge pain. So we can do that later, in the later stage where the inflammation is reduced. We can shift it back manually and then put some belt or specific kind of like holding structures that can hold that area properly, so that the bone gets enough place, because the gap between the bone and the rest of the spine, the vertebrae and the rest of the spine, if it's more bigger, then it cannot be fixed. We need to put it in the proper place. Belts help generally.